and the future cardiac surgery in Malaysia. Assalamualaikum and a very warm welcome to all Sinar Daily's Laugh and Style podcast listeners and viewers. Again with me, Dr. Mahathir Mohamad, as your host and moderator for the session today. Welcome to our special World Heart Day edition, an exclusive edition by Sinar Daily, Matters of the Heart. And today we are deeply honoured to have with us Tun Dr Mahathir Mohamad, Malaysia's longest-serving Prime Minister, a statesman whose leadership, wisdom and resilience have shaped our nation's history. Thank you so much, Tun, for being here. But today we will be discussing differently. We were taking slightly a different route. We're going to talk beyond than politics, beyond than policy. So we're going to talk about something which is deeply human, heart-related, and the power of perseverance. So Tun, we have seen your leadership. We have seen that your leadership has seen Malaysia through many milestones. But one of your most personal milestones when you first discovered that you have heart disease, when you had a blockage. So maybe you could take us back to that moment, walk through the journey. How did you first find out, and what went through your mind, especially at that point of your peak at your career?
I've been trained as a doctor, and as a doctor I know the signs and symptoms of various diseases, including heart disease. And I know that one of the first things that you feel is a tightness in the chest and pain in the left arm. I was riding a horse at that time. I experienced that tightness. Not painful, but tightness and discomfort. But I dismissed it. I thought, oh, it couldn't be. And the following that horse riding episode, I attended a dinner. I think I ate too much. After the dinner, when I came home, the tightness in the chest was worse. I don't know how to relieve it. If I sit down, it doesn't go. If I lie down, it doesn't go. Finally, I had to call a doctor. And the doctor confirmed that I have had a heart attack. So I had to admit, I think I know I had a heart attack, but I don't want to admit it. I thought that it might be something else, but actually it was a heart attack.
Okay, so you hope it was something else, not because heart attack usually, most of the time people feel that it's a death sentence. So, Tun, you have always been known as being very firm and decisive. So when you were being told that you have a heart attack, you have a blockage, and the doctor recommended you to do a bypass surgery, so what was going through your mind at that point of time? Did you ever hesitate?
I was admitted into hospital. And I was looked after by Dr. Robaya. And she examined me and said, I've had a heart attack, that there is some blockage in the arteries of my heart, and I will require, at that time people don't treat heart disease with stent. Now they treat with stent, but at that time, the only way to treat is to have open heart surgery. So Dr. Rabaya told me that, I can have open heart surgery, or if I don't want, they may try to give some medication, but medication doesn't work. So it must be open heart surgery. I accepted. I know that as a doctor, I know that is the way to deal with a heart attack.
So actually, you have not gone only once, but actually 2 times of bypass surgery, right? So an experience that few people could imagine, because as a cardiac surgeon also, it's not a surgery that we want to do repeatedly. What did it feel like physically and emotionally to go through the journey? Did it change the way you viewed the life, your health?
Well, I know the dangers. I know that you may not survive. And I felt that if I'm not going to survive, I will just not survive. So I went there. I was quite calm because I accepted the problem as the usual problem faced by everyone, that one day you have to take the risk of ending your life even.
Right. So, like you have said, that you accepted the decision which was being made by the doctors, the cardiac surgeon, and also the cardiologist. So many Malaysians who probably being diagnosed with the same disease like what Tun has experienced, fear of going through heart surgery under the knife. They see it's very risky, like I said just now, even like a death sentence. So maybe, did you have that fear at that point of time, and how did you overcome? And maybe you could advise to the Malaysian out there to seek treatment and go through the surgery.
My fear was, I think, is worse than others, because I know exactly what they are going to do. They have to cut through the sternum, open the chest, and fiddle with my heart. And I asked Dr. Yahya, how are you going to cut this? He says, electric saw. I said, okay, thank you. I didn't want to hear anymore. But I know exactly what they are doing. And of course, they was worried. But I had to go through. So I accept it.
Okay. So maybe, do you have any advices to the Malaysians out there who have, diagnosed with heart attack and maybe be hesitant?
But nowadays, open heart surgery is very advanced. So the most important thing is the anesthesia, and that is done by a specialist who keeps your heart and lungs functioning even when the chest is open. So it is frightening, yes, but it is a way to cure the heart disease. But nowadays they don't do open heart surgery so often, because now they have implant stent passing through the blood vessel. They put in a stent to keep the lumen open all the time. So the treatment now is more by using stent rather than open heart surgery.
Okay. So I hope all the audience out there could take the advice from Tun regarding those who are diagnosed with cardiac disease and need to go for surgery. So Tun, you often spoke about discipline, about whether it's in leadership, it's in time management, or even your health. So after your surgery, what lifestyle changes did you adopt? How much how much of your recovery do you credit to that principles? Did you ever miss all the Malaysian food like nasi lemak, teh tarik?
Yeah, after the operation, I was a bit unsure of my recovery. I was very timid. I didn't want to do anything that is violent, or trying to run or do something like that. I thought that I might displace something inside. But actually, after about 2 months, I find that I was okay. So I was able to talk, I was able to make speeches and do the usual work that a Prime Minister does. So actually, the healing is quite remarkable. Considering that they fiddle with your heart and they put stitches there, put in new vessels and all that. They took the vessel from the leg and implanted in the heart. So it is very stable. And after that, I gained confidence and I behave like an ordinary person.
So it took you about 2 months plus, and then you have resumed back to your normal daily activities. And at that point of time, we know that Tun is managing the country and also at the same time managing your health as well. Must have been an enormous challenge. So how did you balance at that point of time, being the Prime Minister, going through the stress, ensuring that you are also staying healthy, exercise? Were there like any moments where you had to choose between rest and responsibility? Did the doctor say like, okay, rest, do not work too much?
Well, it is really something that was with me already. From young, I was trained to be disciplined and not to complain too much. You see, I mean, that is part of the upbringing I had from my parents. So when faced with a problem, a crisis, I have no difficulty maintaining calmness. I don't get too excited, and I don't lose my temper or anything like that. I see things as they are without feeling anything, without emotion. Of course, sometimes these things affect me personally, but I was able to control myself, and I'm a stickler for discipline, that I must not allow my feeling to overcome my common sense.
So that's the most important point, being very disciplined. And then Tun, we can see that he is very disciplined, and Tun right now is already 100 years old. He's double my age, more than double, and I can see he still remain sharp, energetic, inspiring to all the Malaysians, all generation across. So what are your daily habits or personal philosophies that have kept you so healthy and active all these years? I mean, as you see nowadays, Malaysia has become one of the most obese nation in Southeast Asia. So, but you are fit and healthy. So, maybe you could share with us your philosophy.
I have always remained active. That is to say, I work daily. I do not like holidays where I have no work to do. I like to be working because it keeps my mind busy, it keeps my body busy. And I believe that it is good to have your whole self active. Your body and your brain should be active if it is to remain healthy. If you don't use your body, it tends to become weak. And we know, for example, bodybuilders. The bodybuilders build their body through lifting weights. So you have to exercise the muscle before the muscle can be strong. The same thing with the mind. If you are all the time discussing, talking, writing, and then the mind is active, and that is very important. So I try to be active all the time. When at home during holidays and I have nothing to do, I get very upset.
All right, so being very active, not just physically, but mentally also. That's how Tun has maintained to be still sharp at this point of time. I can see he's very busy with his podcast and also a lot of interviews. And going back a little bit to the your surgery, your cardiac surgery, how important that you think at that point of time, when people always say family is very important in the support, that time your wife, Tun Dr Siti Hasmah, and also the rest of the family during your recovery, with her being a doctor herself, did you actually help to calm your nerves and go through the surgery and recover well?
Well, she raised no problem. She's not a problem to me. She doesn't complain about anything, and as a doctor, she knows what I was going through and what discipline I have to follow. So we hardly ever talk about the operation or the disease. because that is something that she knows, I know. And it was painful. I remember once she asked Messer to Kangaroo, and the lady saw the big scar in the middle. She was upset, but my wife was not upset because the normal thing is after surgery there will be a big scar, and over time it will heal.
So you're trying, and so what we are trying to advocate to the patients out there, family support is very, very much important, and it helps in terms of the recovery, right, Tun? Okay, so Tun, like facing health challenges often gives people a new perspective on life. How is your heart journey undergoing 2 bypass surgery that have shaped the way you view leadership, resilience, and also success today?
One thing I felt is that I was very grateful. I had a heart disease, which is, in the past, a heart disease may be the end of you. But through open heart surgery twice, I have recovered. So for that, I'm grateful. And being grateful, I have to understand that I have to also look with sympathy for people that they have disease. Oh, okay, so I was operated. I was the Prime Minister, so I had good treatment. But there would be many people who cannot afford. So I feel very sorry for them. Then there must be some way of treating serious ailments which cost a lot of money for some kind of support for them.
Okay. All right. So it is very important, as Tun has mentioned, Tun has become empathy. Because after going through the 2 cardiac surgery, right? Since you mentioned regarding the healthcare system, so you were operated in Institut Jantung Negara (IJN), and at that point of time, you were the first to approve and establish IJN. And when people, we are that time in the era of still developing cardiac surgery, did you imagine it would become one of the region's top heart centers, because now that is the main referral center in Malaysia?
Well, when I had my first heart attack, there was no IJN. I was taken to the general hospital, and they operated on me, and I recovered. But during the course talking about with the doctors, I found that they are not very happy with the situation, because they don't have all the facilities they need to do heart surgery. And they believe that if there is a special center, it will be useful, it will be very good for Malaysia. So at that time I was Prime Minister, and I wangled allocation of funds for the IJN to be built. So IJN was built, and after that, of course, my second operation was at IJN, the first in General Hospital. But now IJN is well known. Lots of doctors are trained in IJN, not only Malaysian doctors, but foreign doctors as well. And I think they have built up a very good organization that is highly regarded.
Okay, so that's an important take-home message, that we need to support the healthcare systems, and it was a great experience that actually Tun underwent the surgery, and then because of that we have IJN now, which has become the main referral center in Malaysia. So before we end this discussion, so maybe Tun could actually share 1 or 2 take-home message for the Malaysians about taking care of their health, especially their heart, both physically and emotionally, and yeah.
Well, generally, people will get sick sometime or other, and as they grow older, they get even more sick. But nowadays, the doctors know how to detect diseases which are not yet major. For example, in the case of cancer, they can check whether there is cancer or not. Nowadays, doctors examine the blood, and from the blood picture, they will be able to tell a lot of things about the functions of the internal organs of the person. And if there is cancer, there is some indication that there is cancer. So then the thorough examination would have to be done. And cancer, for example, is if treated early, you can actually cure. So it is important that people do some checks. Maybe when they are aging, every 6 months they should check on their body functions and submit to a medical examination. If you do that, I think any diseases which has not yet flared out could be detected, and measures taken or medicine taken to prevent the disease from spreading. So personal health involves, of course, visits to doctors, but at the same time, you have to have a certain way of life that doesn't aggravate the situation. If you are someone who does no exercise, do not talk and all that, then you are going to become decrepit after some time. But if you are active, both bodily and mentally you are active, you will be able to live a good life for a long time.
Okay. In terms of, like Tun has mentioned, getting health screen checkups to detect the disease early, in terms of that's in terms of physically. How about emotionally? Because most of the time, some of them, they get treated, but at the back of the mind, they're still stressed because they have been diagnosed with the disease. So maybe you could just add on in terms of how they could be more positive once they're being diagnosed with any diseases, especially in cardiac, like if they're diagnosed with heart attack or any diseases.
Yeah. Well, medical science has advanced greatly nowadays. In the hospital, they can practically see the heart as it beats. We have ultrasound and other system, other equipment, which enable the doctor to see exactly what is happening. And lately, I was told that there is a new stethoscope which can diagnose certain diseases of the heart. So there are now equipments available to check on the health of your body, the health of your organs. And of course, we function, if our organs function well, we are okay. But we do not know what is wrong, and it is for you to get a medical examination, because they can actually detect early signs of any disease. And when you detect diseases early, the chances of curing is better.
Okay, thank you so much, Tun. So it's important for the audience out there to remember prevention is actually better than cure. But if you have gone through medical checkups and screening, it can be picked up early. And like Tun has mentioned, the curative rate is very high, and it would be healthy as normal if you have been detected early. So Tun, thank you so much for sharing your wisdom and your journey with such honesty and warmth. Your story is a reminder that heart health isn't just about medicine. It's about discipline, mindset, and also gratitude. We wish you continued good health and we pray the best for you, Tun. And to all our listeners, take this World Heart Day as a reminder to care for your heart because it truly matters. Thank you again for tuning in to Matters of Heart. Thank you so much, Tun. Thank you.
The world's unfolding, stories untold. Voices rising and we're breaking the mold. Fearless and bold, we're taking the lead. Empowering minds.
Hello, this